Hello, welcome back to Beauty Bee. If you're in the beauty community, you've probably seen the new tag Emily Noel created, the $1,000 Sephora basket. $1,000 is a lot of money. Let's just be clear on that. And I can't say that this really fits with my stated goals for my channel, which are anti-consumerism and budgeting when it comes to fashion and beauty. But it does look like a lot of fun, so I decided to do it anyway. I don't spend $1,000 in a year on makeup, much less $1,000 in one trip. I think my goal for this year works out to less than $200 on makeup. So this is completely splashing out for me. Realistically, if I had a $1,000 Sephora gift card in my hands and I was told you need to spend this all in one swoop, I would call my mother and my sister and be like, hey, what do you guys want? However, in this fantasy scenario, I think I get to be as selfish as I want and get all of this for me. So, you know, what can you do? So I found that the things that I wanted generally fell into about 3 or 4 categories. There were the really practical things. Mascara, CC cream, the kinds of things that I would probably buy anyway, though I might choose to get at the drugstore if I didn't have this budget available to me. Then there were the things that I've been eyeing for years. You know, I've heard about the NARS Orgasm Blush since I was in middle school, I think. So it's probably been 12 years, 13 years. Am I completely dating myself? Yes. And I've never tried it. So I was like, here's my chance. A few things that have really caught my eye in the past year or so that I just don't have the budget for, or I have the budget for, but I'm just not, you know, $70 enthused about it. I'm more like a $30 enthused about it. No. And finally, those things that just were on a whim. So we'll go through what I would have picked out. I'll show pictures at the end of every section. I suspect that this video will be fairly long because $1,000 doesn't go as far as I feel like it should at Sephora, but it still goes really far. And I don't want to completely overload my video editor, because a 30-minute video with 40 odd pictures would absolutely not just crash the editor, but probably my computer too. And we don't want that. But let's start with a category that I feel goes in the pretty practical category, sort of across the board, and talk about base makeup. Now, I don't particularly like switching up my skincare. My skin looks pretty good right now, actually, but I usually have some amount of acne. Usually not a whole lot, but some. So I decided to get almost no skincare, with the exception of the Mario Badescu drying lotion, which is like a spot treatment for acne. I've never used a product like this before. I suspect it would be good and help me. And most importantly, it's not switching anything out. I don't want my skin to freak out on me. And it's relatively inexpensive for Sephora skincare at $17. I also would have picked up an IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream in the shade Fair Light. I probably would have gotten the matte version because I can tend to be a little bit oily, especially when I have something akin to a foundation on. And the IT Cosmetics, I believe, has like SPF 50, so it's enough that I could actually just wear that and not need to put a sunscreen underneath. That would have been $39.50. I then would have gotten 2 mini primers from Smashbox. Okay, has anyone else noticed that the Smashbox primers are actually less expensive per ounce in mini form than they are in the full size? I would have gotten the oil and shine control and the reduced redness. I don't do this very much anymore, but I used to pretty regularly just put on, primer on my nose or my chin, any area that I felt my pores were acting up or I thought it would get pretty oily, and then not put any foundation on top. Just use the blurring effects or the redness correcting properties to fix whatever issues I felt I was having that particular day. And while I haven't done that in a couple of years, I think that might be nice to have around for days where my skin is just not cooperating with me. And then finally, as far as base makeup goes, I would have picked up the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, which is the one in the pot. I've heard a lot of good things about this over the years. I think just going off the shades online, I would probably wear Vanilla. That seems to be the fairest cool tone shade. But if I were actually to have a Sephora gift card, I'd like to think that I would actually go into Sephora and try things instead of just hoping for the best. Though, I guess you can't really try things anymore, can you? What would I do? Just stare at them? I'm just gonna go in the order that I usually do my makeup and switch to eyes now. So again, on the more or less practical side, I thought I might get the Sephora Favorites mascara set. This has 5 mini mascaras, and then you get a voucher for a full size of one of the 5 mascaras that's in the box. In particular, I really wanted to try the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. I feel like that's one I have heard about for years and years, but I've never tried it. And I figured that it was really a pretty good deal. I figure I can make probably 4 out of the 5 work. There will probably be one of them that's total garbage and will get used 3 times, but I imagine that I can make 4 out of 5 mascaras work. Use them for about 2 months each. I usually get about 2 months out of a mini mascara. And then with the full size, I should get 3 months out of that. So that's a year's worth of mascara for 28 bucks. The other somewhat practical eye makeup I would have gotten were the Kat Von D Tattoo Eyeliner Duo. They have this in a brown and a black, and it comes in a set for $32. Now, I believe that I have, so call out at myself, I'm pretty sure that I have a video from like 2 weeks ago or something where I said I don't get to buy liquid eyeliner. But that was before I got my hair cut, and I've actually been really liking drawing on lashes on the bottom. I feel that it's kind of a cute little 60s mod look that sort of goes with my hair. And I've been doing that with a shadow, and that's okay. It doesn't last great throughout the day, and I occasionally have a tendency to touch my eye, which I know I shouldn't, but I do. So I figured that a brown and a black would give me some amount of versatility. I would probably just use the black up and then use the brown up, but I could draw those on and maybe draw the actual wing itself on and then fill in the line with powder. Okay, have I over-explained that enough? Now we can move on to eyeshadow. Again, another item that I'm pretty sure I've called out myself for in the past few weeks. Norvina Mini Pro Pigment Volume 2. I know I really just want this for the packaging, but you know what? I've got $1,000 and I can spend 1/70th of it on a eyeshadow palette that looks pretty, and I will use like 2 shades for $14.50. It'll be okay. That's actually been sitting on my love list for quite a while is the Violet Voss mini palette in the shade I Donut Care. This is like a pastel palette with some neutrals. They've got, I think, a blue, a pink, and a purple shimmery pastels. And those are shades, I have somewhat similar shades to the pink and the purple. I wear them a lot. I really enjoy them. I think I'd like the blue too. And then I was like, oh, why don't I spend like $180 at Natasha Denona? That seems like a good idea. So I would have picked up the mini gold and the mini retro. These are also sitting on my Sephora loves list. And I was thinking about getting the mini glam too, but I decided that was excessive. Because, you know, $179 is a totally reasonable amount to spend on Natasha Denona eyeshadows in one go in my head, but $204, that's crazy talk. So I think these are both really pretty, just full looks in a really small compact, which I love. And they have such interesting shades in. And finally, the big one, the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. Now this is one of their more expensive palettes. It's $129, which, oh, that's painful to think about. But this palette has double shades that most of the Natasha Denona palettes do, which, that's good. Glad for that. But the shadows are also a little bit smaller. And that's okay by me. I mean, there are definitely shades in this that I would not hit pan on. But I have wanted this since it came out. I didn't actually seriously consider purchasing this, but I definitely added it to my cart a couple times and was like, okay, how can I do this? And then I didn't. I had to make an entire category for blush, and I think that's questionable. So I've already alluded to this, but the NARS Orgasm blush, I actually was going to get a mini in a set that had a full-size Orgasm lip balm, which I've had in the past and is so pretty. I used up a mini of it, and then I thought about getting the full size, and it's like $28, which, no, I don't think so. And a lip gloss. I don't care really about the Orgasm lip gloss, but I did want the full-size Orgasm lipstick, and I wanted the blush, and those would have been more together than the set. So, and I don't need to take Orgasm to the grave with me. My grandchildren would feel really uncomfortable putting that in the casket with me. So, we can get a mini. Now, a blush that I am absolutely going to be taking to the grave with me is Tarte Dollface. This is a full size of their 12-hour Amazonian clay blushes. It's $29, but it will last for ages. I will never make a dent in this. It's a pretty bright pink. It's matte. I think it would give me a really nice flush, especially for winter, but I don't think I could ever use this up. Now, Tarte Seduce in the mini for $15, which is more of a rosy nude. I think I could use that up. I have used up a mini of Party before, the one that was in the Sephora birthday gift a couple years ago, and I have hit pan on Harmony in a mini. And then I was like, why don't I get another Natasha Denona thing? This time a mini though, the Blush and Glow, which is the light highlighter and a pink blush. It's a tiny little compact too. I think it's like yay big or something. It's kind of cute though. I like the idea of a compact that's the size of a credit card. Even though I know that realistically that means there's almost nothing in it. And it's still $20. Oh well. And finally, another mini, the Benefit California. I've wanted this since it came out. I know that this is like people's least favorite of the Benefit box blushes, but it's just so pretty. I like the outside packaging, and I like the design that's on the blush inside. And I've never tried one of these Benefit box blushes before, and I feel like I might be missing out. I'm probably not. It's a blush, but they're pretty. I want it. And the ridiculous total for just blush is $129. So, yeah. 5 new blushes. That's only like 30 years worth of blush. You know, no big deal. Now let's move on to bronzer and highlighter. Now, I'm sure that I've gone on a tirade in the past on this channel about how much I don't actually like bronzer, but I figured that if I had $1,000, I could try one for $30. And the one I actually ended up picking was the Jouer Sunswept Bronzer Duo. This has 2 pretty light shades, and they did show it swatched on someone who was pretty fair, and it didn't look muddy on them, which is the problem that I usually have with bronzer. I find that things make me look very orange or very just sort of dirty. It doesn't, the bronze very rarely looks like it's coming from my skin on some level. It usually looks like there's like a just brown powder sitting on my skin, which is true, but not the effect I'm going for. So for $30, and it's in a really pretty compact, I figured I could try it. What I really wanted to try was the Gucci bronzer in that lightest shade. I thought that that would be really good because it looks almost pink, and I don't turn bronze when I'm out in the sun. I turn kind of pink, so I thought that might be sort of ideal to get that pinky bronze on my cheeks and my forehead, and it would look a lot more natural than most bronze do. But Sephora doesn't have that, or at least doesn't have it yet, so it was kind of a moot point. And then I was like, let's get all the highlighters. So the first one I chose was the Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette. This is that little triangle with the 4 holographic but really like glowy iridescents. I think they might be duochromes in our current vocabulary. Little set. It's $10. This has been out for years. I really liked the look of it when it came out, and I was very much in a neutral, in an all neutral all the time phase at that point. So I couldn't justify it for its original price tag of I think probably the $35 point. But at $10 and having opened up to a little more color, I think this would be a lot of fun. I could see myself using the pink on my cheekbones quite a bit. Can't see myself using the purple and the green and is it blue maybe? Yellow? I don't remember what exactly the other 3 colors are. I can't see myself using those on my cheekbones as much, but I could see myself using them on my eyes quite a bit, and maybe even on my lips for Halloween or something. So that went on the list. I was like, I just haven't given NARS enough money yet, so I'd better buy the Albatross highlighter for $38. I have a really hard time with gold highlighters. I'm pretty fair, so I find that a lot of gold looks sort of just yellow on me, or it looks like a stripe rather than a glow from within. But Albatross looks very white in the pan, and it has a little bit of gold champagne reflect to it. So I think this would actually work. I hope it would work. And then finally, I have my colors taken care of. I've got my gold taken care of, so I decided I wanted a pink. So I went with Benefit Dandelion Twinkle, which is the sparkly version, and it's $17 for the mini. Now next to an area where I actually showed more self-control than I thought I would with lip products. This is where I tend to splash out just in my real life. So I thought I might go ham in this area, but I actually managed to keep it to $159, so I'm proud of myself. She says, talking about spending $160 on pigment to put on her lips. Okay. So the first, I was gonna get a couple of minis. I wanted to get a Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek in the shade Rally, which is the mauve. I have this in the shade Work, which they say is a dusty rose. I mean, it's what I'm wearing on my lips and my cheeks today, and this is very peach. So part of that is just my complexion making it look warmer than it is, but I think they're off on the dusty rose thing. Anyway, I like it a lot. I want another color. $15 for a mini that I still don't think I would use up before it went bad. Seems good to me. Then I wanted to get the NARS Velvet Lip Pencils. In particular, I was going to get the mini set that has Cruella and Dolce Vita, a True Red, and a Dusty Rose. Thought those would both be super wearable. It's a formula I've wanted to try for a long time. Seemed like a great deal. I've got like 8 lip products on here, so we're going to be here for a while. I wanted to get the Bite Crayon in Honeycrisp, which is like a pinky coral. Thought that would be a nice everyday shade for me, which it needs to be because it's like $24. Need to use that up. And I really liked the pencil that I got last year, 2 years ago. I'm not sure. In the Sephora birthday gift, I liked the formula a lot. It was in Glacé, I think. But the color was kind of garbage on me. So, excited for that. 2 Sephora cream lip stains. I have 3 of these, and I love the formula. I think they're really easy to wear throughout the day, and I think I'm going to be wearing a mask a lot. I think we're all hopefully going to be wearing masks a lot in the fall, at least us Americans. So, I thought that getting a pretty transfer-proof matte liquid lip would not be a terrible choice. So I was looking at the shades Very Vintage, which is sort of a raspberry shade, and Watermelon Slice, which is a bright watermelon color, as you would expect. That's such an appealing shade name to me. I love that. The really big splurge item, besides that Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, that I wanted was Very Victoria from Charlotte Tilbury. I admit, I want the tube, I want the name Very Victoria, and I have no idea how good the shade would look on me. Is that kind of bad? Yeah, but, I mean, you don't have to lie. Yeah, it is. But, you know, this is fantasy. I wouldn't do it in real life. Now, I also wanted to try one of the Bobbi Brown lipsticks. I see everyone who has these rave about them. In particular, I wanted the liquid one, and I wanted the shade Peach and Quiet, which seems to be sort of a peachy pink. I think they describe it as a warm pink, which is weird to me considering that's called Peach and Quiet, but I guess I would be okay with either shade that showed up. So, we're good. And finally, I would have gotten the Sephora Lip Stories, which are the Sephora lipsticks in the cardboard tubes in the shade A Little Magic, which is a matte red, because I prefer my reds to be matte. I only had one sort of true red, and I think a little, which was NARS Cruella in my cart. And I do wear red. I do like red. I figured $9 for an easy to apply, easy to take with me matte lipstick was not a bad deal. Okay, we're getting close to the end. 2 more categories to go. First is hair care. I don't take good care of my hair. You can probably tell that by looking at me. I don't really know what to do with it or how to do it. I'm just giving up at this point. But I figured I should get some hair masks. I'm not willing to buy expensive shampoo and conditioner. I don't care if it's on a gift card. The thought of every time I wash my hair, like $2 going down the drain, just that, I can't deal with that. So I looked at a few different hair masks. The two that I would have picked up were the Verb Ghost hair mask and the Verb Hydrating hair treatment mask. I don't really understand how these are different. They both seem like they're lightweight, designed for most hair types, and supposed to help with frizz. So, worthwhile to me. But I figured I would just have two, and I could use one up and then use the other one up. They're $18 a piece. I also would have gotten the Way Scalp and Body Scrub. This is $38. So I'm never going to use this on my body. I would only use this on my scalp to break up some of the product that can kind of build up there over time. And finally, I do like to put oil in my hair sometimes to make it a little bit more sleek and a little more shiny. So I would have picked up the Verb Ghost Weightless Hair Oil for $18. And finally, the two biggest Whim products probably on this entire list were the Moroccan Oil Color Depositing Mask in the shade Bordeaux, which is dark red, and the Good Die Young Semi-Permanent Hair Color in X-Girl, I think. I didn't actually write that down. I think it was Hot Pink. And that was mostly just me being like, I want to color my hair. I don't like commitment though, and I definitely don't want to bleach my hair. So these seemed like fun. And now finally for fragrance. I don't really wear much perfume. I'm pretty much in the category of get the free samples with your Sephora order, like the 1 or 2 times a year you order from Sephora. Just make sure that those are whatever perfumes they have available and use them for like the whole year when you're going out or something. Maybe that's not everyone's approach, but so I decided that I just wanted minis of things. I went with a few that I'd tried before. The YSL Black Opium and Mon Paris duo. That was $29. It comes with 2 little mini perfume bottles. I've tried Black Opium, I've tried Mon Paris, and I like both of them. Here's the part where I look up how to pronounce something in French. Okay, I believe that I should say this Hermès Jardin collection. This has 4 mini perfumes, each part of the Jardin collection from Hermès. So these are all floral. I have owned a sample of one of these in the past, Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee, which is kind of the sort of Asian inspired one. There's a Mediterranean inspired one, a Egyptian inspired one, and a 4th one, which I think might just be called like Fantasy or something. I also wanted something that I could just take with me really easily, and I like rollerballs because they're not super offensive to people who are near you if you want to apply them in public. So I was going to look at the Nest Wild Poppy rollerball. I've never smelled this before, but I did really like the Stella McCartney Stella Poppy Stella or something perfume that I got a sample of a couple years ago. So I thought a poppy scent would be a good one. And then it came time to put my free samples in, and I was like, you know what, Sephora, if I'm gonna spend $1,000, you can give me some samples. So I was gonna get another one of the Black Opium because it's a really nice scent. Black Opium sounds like something I wouldn't like. I mean, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, everything that's wonderful. Basically, that whole Leslie Gore song, if you can just combine it, that's what I want to smell like. So Black Opium, not generally on the list, but it's really nice. It smells very grown up and sophisticated. And I was surprised by how much I liked that. And Clean Reserve, just because it was the other perfume, and I figured I can try one. And now, just really quickly, let's look over the overall amount. Now, really quickly, let's go through just the overall. So, for base makeup, I would have spent $116.50. Cheek products for $224. Eye makeup comes out to be the largest category by quite a bit. Mostly just that Natasha Denona palette, honestly, that's more than a couple of these other categories just by itself. Eye makeup was $271.50. Lip products, $159. Hair care, $117. And fragrance for $106. And my total comes to an earth-shattering $994. And yeah, there's 40 products on that list, but this is more makeup items that I want to add this year, much less more money than I want to spend on makeup this year. So I'm not upset at all that I cannot get this. I'm thrilled that I can't get this. My bank account would cry because I have no place to put 40 makeup items. Okay, well, I think you've seen a good chunk of my wish list, heard me talk way too much about it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have done a similar video, I would love it if you could link it below. I really enjoy watching these. It's so much more fun to me to watch what people think they would like to get rather than what people actually buy, because I feel really guilty watching people spend hundreds of dollars on makeup. But I like hearing them talk about potentially spending hundreds, or in this case almost $1,000 on makeup. Is that strange? Maybe. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!